Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel. It is early here. It is not even 7 a.m. but I'm getting ready to head to work. I've been putting off doing this recipe because this week has just been crazy for me and I'm exhausted. But I'm taking a couple minutes right now to get dinner in the crock pot so that it'll be ready when I get home. All I'm gonna have to do is cook one thing when I get home, which will take me about 5 minutes, and we'll have dinner on the table. So let's get in the kitchen. So one of my favorite recipes, I love doing Bahn Mi bowls. Bahn Mi sandwiches are great, but I just don't really want a big piece of bread. So I love doing Bahn Mi bowls. We have a chunk of pork loin here. This is part of, I will leave a link for this grocery trip. We bought a huge pork loin at our local grocery store a couple of weeks ago, and I was able to cut it into 22 pork chops, and I still had this chunk of pork loin left. So I put this in the freezer for another recipe, and my husband and I both have kind of had a hankering for Bahn Mi. We love Bahn Mi. So we have our pork in here. We're just gonna add the rest of these ingredients. It's gonna be super quick, super fast, and we're gonna get the crock pot on, we're gonna get to work, and then this afternoon when we come home, it's gonna be ready. We're gonna shred this up. We're gonna cook some thin rice noodles. We're gonna top this with all the wonderful things that go on a Bahn Mi bowl, which is sliced cucumbers, grated carrots, pickled carrots and daikon. We'll pickle those when we get home because they're really quick. They take 5 minutes to pickle, so they're not, not super hard. So we're gonna have our pickled carrots and daikon. We're gonna have our sliced cucumbers. We're gonna have some sliced jalapeno. We are going to, typically Bahn Mi has cilantro, but I'm allergic, so we won't be putting that on our Bahn Mi bowls. But we will have the sriracha mayo that goes on them, and that's what makes this super tasty. So, as I said, we have our pork loin in here. We're just gonna go ahead and put the rest of our ingredients in real quick. We've got some sesame oil, so we're just gonna give it I'm gonna say probably about a couple of teaspoons worth of that in there. We have some oyster sauce. We're gonna put that in. We're gonna put in, I'm gonna say about a quarter of a cup, roughly, give or take a little. That's what I love about this recipe, is it's not exact science, so it's fine. Normally it calls for fresh ginger. I don't have fresh ginger. I thought I did, but I don't, so we're just gonna use some powdered ginger. So we're just gonna put a little of this powdered ginger in here. Now we are gonna have to add a little bit of water to this because I don't want my pork loin to burn while it's cooking today. So we are gonna put in some soy sauce. And it takes quite a bit of soy sauce for a Bahn Mi. So we're gonna put in about a half a cup probably. And then, like I said, we're gonna add some water to this, so it's gonna help mellow it out a little bit. We're gonna get all of this on our pork. It's already smelling so good, friends. All right, so then we are gonna put in some red pepper flakes. I don't want a ton, but I do want just a little bit of heat on the back of your tongue. So we're gonna put in about a teaspoon of red pepper flakes in here. We're gonna put in a little bit of, I don't want big pieces of onion in this, so we're gonna put in some dehydrated minced onion. So we get that wonderful onion flavor, but we're not gonna have big, huge chunks of onion. So we're gonna put in about a teaspoon of that. We're gonna put in some garlic. We have our garlic press here. We're gonna go ahead and put our garlic cloves in here. These are ginormous garlic cloves. These things were huge. Get our thing here so we can dig this out. We have a little bit of our skin left in here, so we're going to pull this out, throw that away. Let's grab our other one. We're putting in 2 garlic cloves in here. This is a huge garlic clove. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and get this smashed. I'm telling you, friends, this is gonna be so good tonight when we get home. I'm super excited. I've been putting this recipe off because I'm just exhausted. I am so tired right now. I am still adjusting. If you're new to my channel, I went back to work. After being retired for almost a year, I went back to work a week ago. This is my second full week of being back at work, and I'm back to cooking. I'm actually cooking for our daycare at our church. So that has been a huge challenge for me to get adjusted to that. Okay, last thing we need to put in here is some water. We're gonna put in about, let's see, we're gonna put in maybe a cup and a half. I'm gonna put it around the pork. I don't want to rinse off all the beautiful things. You know, I just realized I didn't even move this down here so you guys could see what I was doing in the crock pot. I am so sorry about that. That's what happens when it's early in the morning. All right, so let's go ahead and put in. So it's actually about 1 3/4 cups. And the last thing we're gonna put in is some brown sugar. Now, my brown sugar, I'm not gonna go through the whole story again. This has been the worst brown sugar I've ever bought in my entire life. It's awful. But because this is gonna cook for a really long time, I'm just gonna put in a few chunks of this brown sugar that is not cooperating. It'll break down, it'll be fine. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. All right, so we have in here, we've got our pork, we have our seasonings, we have all the things ready to go. We are going to plug our crock pot in, put our lid on it, and we're gonna turn this baby on, and we are gonna let this thing cook and do all the work for us today while we are at work. We'll come home this afternoon and we'll be ready to finish up our Bahn Mi. So friends, I hope you guys have a great day. We will see you back here this evening or late afternoon when we get ready to finish up, excuse me, our Bahn Mi. We'll get these in our bowls with our yummy rice noodles and all of our fresh veggies and our delicious sauce. And so we'll see you guys this afternoon. Just kidding, I'm back. Forgot to put lime in it. We've got to put lime in here. You got to have lime in your Bahn Mi. So I'm going to cut this lime in half. I've got my juicer. We're going to juice this lime right into our crock pot. And this will be the last ingredient that we're putting in here. You know, sometimes when it's early in the morning and you're tired, you forget things. I do it all the time. All right, now it's ready. Now we're gonna put our lid on it. We're gonna turn our crock pot on, and we're gonna let this go ahead and hang out all day long, let it finish cooking, and we'll see you this afternoon. All right, friends, I just got home from work, and I gotta tell you, walking in this house and smelling this pork in the crock pot back here was the best thing to come home to. Let me flip you guys around so you can see what we did. All right, friends, I'm gonna pull the lid off of this so you guys can see what happened in this crock pot today while I was at work. Look at this pork. Look at that. It is just falling apart. So we're gonna get this all shredded up because I want this all down in this juice so that it has a chance to soak it in while we're cooking our rice noodles, getting all of our veggies cut up and ready to go. We need to do a quick pickle on our daikon and our carrots. So we're just gonna finish chopping this all up, kind of shredding it a little bit, getting it all down inside that sauce over here. Let that really start absorbing everything. I'm telling you, friends, this is gonna be so good. Hey friends, we're gonna make our quick pickle for our carrots and our daikon. If you've ever seen a daikon, this is a daikon, this is part of a daikon. It's a white radish is what it is. So we're gonna julienne some of that up. We are going to get we need 1/4 cup of water and 1/4 cup of our rice wine vinegar. This is gonna go in the microwave, which is gonna make it super easy, super fast. We've also got our water started already for our rice noodles that we're gonna cook. We've got 1 tablespoon, I need to show you guys, I keep doing that today, tablespoon of sugar we have in here. And we're gonna go ahead and get this in the microwave. And we're gonna give that a quick little stir. We're gonna put this in the microwave for about a minute so that this can start to get warm. We're just gonna cut off a chunk. We don't need a whole lot of this because it's just the two of us eating, so we don't need a huge amount of daikon. But my peeler, because we do need to get the outside of this daikon peeled off. So we're gonna cut it in half, and then we're gonna cut it in planks. And this is gonna give us a julienne for our daikon. There's our liquid. All right, so then we're gonna stack these. We wanna do these fairly thin, julienne, honestly. I don't want them super, super thick. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put our daikon right in here in our hot liquid. We're gonna add our carrots. I'm not a huge fan of daikon unless it's like this. If it is pickled in a banh mi sandwich or a banh mi bowl, then I can do it. We're gonna go ahead and put quite a bit of carrot in here. My husband will just eat these pickled veggies without them being in a banh mi. He loves them, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna use my hand to toss these because it's just gonna be easier. We're just gonna definitely smell the pickling. All right, and just like that, our veggies are pickled, our rice noodles are done. We're gonna make our sriracha sauce real quick. And we're gonna put these bowls together. I'm not sure if the sriracha mayo is traditional or not, but this is the way that I was taught to make banh mi by somebody that eats a lot of banh mi. She's actually from Vietnam. And so I trust her that the sriracha mayo is something you're supposed to use with this. So we're just gonna do a little mayonnaise, a little bit of sriracha. I like the heat that you get from the sriracha mayo. I don't like things that are super spicy, but this is not too hot for me. And we finish it off with a little bit of lime juice, and that tends to cut a little bit of the sweetness, or a little bit of the spice, I mean. All right, so that's ready to go. We're gonna cut up a cucumber real quick. Obviously, since it's just the two of us, we don't need a whole lot of cucumber. I love how quick these go together once you cook your pork. But you want your cucumbers pretty thin. You don't want them super thick. And I think about 6 to 8 slices per bowl is plenty. And that's about what you put on a traditional sandwich when we make it. So let's do a couple more little slices. All right, that may be too much, but it'll be all right. All right, so I have a jalapeno here. I do not want jalapeno on mine, but my husband is a fan of jalapenos. So we are going to cut one for him. We're just gonna do some slices for him to put on his bowl. I like doing these as a bowl style with rice noodles. If you are wanting to cut down on a lot of the carbs, the rice noodles, they still have some carbs, but they're not as carb heavy as like the bread that you would traditionally get with the banh mi sandwich. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put some rice noodles. We're gonna do some of our pork. So we have our pork, we have our rice noodles. We're gonna go ahead and put on some of our cucumbers. We do have carrots too. We're gonna put on cucumbers first. We're gonna put in a little bit of our carrot and our daikon that we pickled earlier. And we're gonna put on some jalapeno. All right, friends, we're gonna put on some sriracha. I think we're just gonna put it right here in the center. I don't wanna muddy up the entire picture. But we're gonna stir this in. All right, there is our Bahn Mi Bowl. So we're gonna go eat this. This is gonna be super good. I wanna thank you guys so much for joining me in my kitchen this morning and this afternoon as we made a delicious dinner for us tonight. Something super quick, super easy. As you can see, if you get the pork in the crock pot early in the morning, dinner goes together in less than 10 minutes because your noodles only need 3 to 4 minutes to do that. Your pickling veggies need only a couple minutes and you've got dinner on the table. So if you guys haven't already, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that notification bell up there so you're notified every time we upload a new video. And I hope you guys have a great night. And God bless.